Element 126, resin. Res. It was the answer to everything. A transmutable element with the power to unlock the secrets of the universe. It gifted humanity everything there was to know about space-time and how to enslave it. Res triggered an explosion of technological advancement. Mankind spread to the far reaches of the galaxy, growing exponentially in numbers, along with the reliance on Res. The United Terran Alliance was founded to control the countless population. Eventually, they sought to ration the use of Res. As Res supplies thinned, conflict arose. An epidemic of fortune-seeking miners forced their way to the galactic core, where resin was most abundant. Eventually, the primary Res source was discovered. All Res stemmed from a sinister and timeless energy being, a being awakened by the use of Res. They had sprung an ancient and recursive trap, Res being the bait no budding civilization could possibly ignore. Corruption spilled outward into the stars, twisting the biological matrix of all it touched, integrating it into machines. Mankind's own technology, their own dead, had begun to turn against them. For years they struggled to survive against a flood of abominated metal and flesh. Billions were lost to the infection, only further feeding the expanding corruption. In spite of hopeless obliteration, the very fabric of life itself arose to fight the dark entity. As a race, humanity came together for a single purpose. In some twisted way, they had found peace. Peace, however, does not last. People fell back into their self-minded ways. Humanity turned inward in a scramble for the remaining Res, which now could no longer be renewed. As the UTA lost its control over the galaxy, they collapsed the entire Warpgate network beyond any hope of salvage. Human ingenuity, it turns out, knows no captivity. A resin-based drive was developed, allowing more direct travel anywhere in the galaxy. The Void was reborn as a wild, untapped, and lawless frontier. As years pass, piracy and skirmish battles rage. Precious Res the prize. Raw worlds are recklessly colonized and disputed by legions of makeshift starships. An entire ecology of nomadic drifters emerged, endlessly recycling the wrecks of constant war. All the while, the nearly forgotten saviors of the galaxy tirelessly struggle to exterminate the last remnants of the infection.
It seems like, yet again, you dimwits have flown my ship headlong into an infested region. That is the third time this week. 6 million forms of communication, and I'm yet to find one that can articulate how moronic you fools are. Computer, power up the weapons and shield emitters. The doctor is in.
Secret filled. Mega filled. Destroyer of worlds. Shields offline. Destroyer of worlds.
Game over.
By the void. Level 13 is truly the bane of my existence.
Carl, seriously? Do you realize crew members suffocated on the lower decks because you routed power from life support to play stupid video games?
Silence, imbecile! They gave their lives for the greater good. A scientific mind must stay active, or it would wither and wrinkle. I'll boil any ocean. I'll irradiate a whole litter of Narlakian pups. I'll divide by 0 if I have to.
I told you he'd cause trouble if you leave him to his own whim. Those implants can really make a man sick of the melon. Elsa, he is a liability if we keep him on board.
Please refrain from sneaking up on another living creature like that. Do you not realize the horror people have to endure every time they look at your face? You are fortunate I did not inadvertently dismember you in a panic-induced frenzy.
Everyone, shut up! To the bridge, right now. Anyone not here in 30 seconds is getting vented into space. Well, I'm glad to see everyone was able to get up at the crack of noon to work towards sustaining our survival. Let me present to you all the garbage dump we'll be sifting through this afternoon. Yes, most of this is useless junk. Yes, this is utterly pathetic, but what choice do we have?
This ain't no way to treat this here metal mother. The lady deserves better. Let me be snapping on something fresh. He might not be the best candidate to operate the tractor prototype. Keep in mind that Carl built this thing, so it goes without saying that it's dangerous. I'd hate to have come all this way just to have Mackenzie rip us apart like a rabid chimp with Carl's untested toys. You know how those two can be.
I don't really care who does what, but we need to jump on this opportunity to expand the mothership. That cool module will give us some elbow room, while those wings will give us some much-needed firepower. Let's get those modules fitted so we don't have to listen to each other breathe anymore.
Please pay close attention to the Moving Picture Feature Film Show. You will be subjected to standardized testing following this demonstration.
What exactly do you think you're doing? Stop leaning on that overhead projection like a crutch. This isn't some archaic, top-down space shooter we're playing here. This is real, brutal, kitten-eating life we're talking about. Join the rest of us down here in reality.
Our omnilithium capacitor is now tapped out. I've devised a method to simply eject the spent cell while fabricating a new one out of surrounding space dust. Do not ask me how it works, or why it makes sense. All that you need to know is that you will be unable to fire the ship's weapons while the new cell is being installed.
Alright, I'm bringing the weapons online. If that is indeed what you want to call this garbage. Let's blast open some of these containers. Maybe we can find something to eat that won't make our hair fall out.
I have decided that it would be best if basic resource towing was left up to the ship's computer. These items are too fragile to be handled by Neanderthals. It brought me great pain to watch you struggle with the tractor beam.
perform the following diagnostic tests on the kinetic shield system. Your life and my hull may depend upon it. All modern space-capable engines come equipped with special regenerating boost capacitors. Please practice making rocket go fast now.
I have to say I'm impressed. You're all able to lace this thing back together without eating each other. The only thing that remains is to test the res drive. Mackenzie, start the pre-flight procedure.
From scotch and caviar to beers and tears, how is it that Jameson is the only other one with ambition to dig out of this dung heap? Just cook those bloody engines up and lay in a course for somewhere that isn't here. Please.
Welcome to the Super Ultra Star Map 9000. This holographic interface will allow you to scan all known galactic entities, plot mothership destinations, and communicate with other ships and starbases. Please practice untethered exploration now. Game saved.
Now that we are finally underway, let me remind you that you cannot simply urinate in the corner and proclaim you are the alpha meat husk. You are a minuscule fish in an otherwise colossal ocean of galactic proportions. Unless you wish to be dead before breakfast, read the advisory overlays I have painstakingly programmed for your survival. Do not just click past them and complain on the galactic forums that you did not get the memo. Ignorance will not be excused. Read or die.
Please familiarize yourself with the star map command functions. If you do not assimilate this information now, it will be waiting for you at dinner time.
Apparently your intestines are so long that if you strung them up end to end, you'd probably die. This here metal mother doesn't like to loot the dead. But what need do they got for intestines?
Pillaging successful. Cargo acquired. Pillaging successful.
All right, we're mobile. If you are all thoroughly satisfied, we can finally get on with it. We still have stickies out there, not to mention a laundry list of equipment we need before we can do anything about them. Time is of the essence, and we've wasted so much of it already.
As anxious as I am to find a so-called Sticky, we have not encountered one for many cycles. The ship does not yet have a nacelle to stand on. Therefore, we need to scout more easy opportunities to exploit.
If we tune our warp frequency just right, we can sometimes pick up residual data transmissions bouncing around the old warp network. Though the gates are smashed beyond repair, some seem to be able to hang on to those low-density data packets like a ghostly reminder of our past.
Loading successful. Area exhausted. Cargo acquired. Map updated.
Though I am completely disgusted by the idea of cooperating with others in a fashion that implies intellectual equality, it often cannot be avoided. Just try not to get extorted too severely.
In an effort to curb interplanetary diseases, just about all our traded goods now have to go through this hands-off filtered interface. Nobody can stab you in the back or shoot you in the face using an interface like this. Just configure the deal, and the autoloaders should take care of the rest. Okay, I'm calling it. We need to shift our focus back to more pressing needs. Everyone on board is expected to understand that the mothership takes priority over everything, including our very lives. To that effect, Mother needs to be fed. If we can't find what she needs, we die along with her. If we cannot trade for what we need, we'll have to take it by force. As cruel as it is, that's just life.
I see fit to enlighten everyone that every action on board consumes something. Don't let these critical supplies run dry. I've gone to the effort of labeling all viable extraction points, as well as indicating when they are ready for harvest. I have also color-coded human selfishness, so you are aware if any other faction claims ownership of these areas.
saved.
While I don't even trust my own office chair these days, let me be the first to admit that we can't survive out here without the help of others. We should consider trading goods and supplies with people, rather than trading insults and bullets. If a hostile confrontation cannot be avoided, then we should consider taking off. We don't have to fight every lemon that looks at us the wrong way.
Can I have your autograph? Uh-huh.
I try not to start fights I can't win, but everyone makes mistakes. It's not beneath me to use one of those silly failgates if the situation should call for it. Just remember, we're going to have to dump some cargo and leave our strikecraft behind if we do so.
This here stuff all tossed about the void like toilet paper in the wind. As much as I want to stuff the Metal Mother full of treasure, the space inside is always smaller than the shell outside. Go figure.
Can I have your autograph?
Behold, my happy place. It is here my power grows. Using the data we have acquired from the sensors, I can refine our ships and equipment. While I would adore being able to refine every single archaic piece of junk on board, the physical nature of the universe forbids it. Treat the data analytics with respect. There is research data that has not yet been allocated. Consider not allocating it, and instead allocate it.
Game saved.
Finding good, fresh, refined alloys isn't easy. Everyone wants them, but nobody's making them. Even if we don't immediately require scrap, it's good to keep some around for trade. Every space nugget in the void will accept it as currency.
Yes, very good.
Babble wagon mode activated.
Very good.
Imaging successful. Game saved.
I sense some underdeveloped crewmen require contextualization about how urgently we require these basic resources. More specifically, human resources. The ship requires an astronomical volume of periodic maintenance and repair. These tasks are far too dangerous to allow anyone with a shred of intellectual value to perform them. Therefore, we do not turn away many applicants. Remember, the bottom of the pyramid needs the most bricks.
Of course, we need bodies to operate and maintain the ship's systems, but we also don't want to feed any more mouths than we must. Most of our food is fabricated from res. Balance is the word of the day here.
While the tractor beam is an effective emergency repair tool, you seem more interested in using it to fling trash about the void for no apparent reason. As long as we are in an assembly-safe area, free of any ships and stellar objects, we can program the ship's computer to reconfigure itself. Just click, close your eyes, go to sleep, and all the hard work will appear to complete itself.
Resource acquired. Signal detected. Area exhausted.
You can never reason with a bandit. In fact, I don't think they even understand a basic language. They pretty much stomp around, raping and pillaging anything that moves. Having one foot in the grave already, most of them are little threat to us. That said, I've heard rumors of colossal bandit ships more times than I can ignore. Trash pile or otherwise, we should respect and acknowledge their potential threat before we look for trouble with these potato-brained psychos.
I'm gonna paint the ship's hull with your blood. Don't understand. Maybe if you spoke backwards.
As much as I detest this hellborn excrement, we're stuck in a universe addicted to res. We are no different. Without it, the res drive will collapse, leaving us to limp along at subwarp. We'll be easy pickings for bandits, or anyone else looking to kick us while we're down.
Now that we have some currency to spend, we should stock up on strike craft. We do not want to get overwhelmed when engaged by multiple targets. Plus, it gives our enemies something else to shoot at instead of us.
Added to cargo hold. Resource acquired.
We wouldn't be a very respectable mothership without some sort of support fleet. I would advise we keep our hangars fully stocked with strike craft at all times. Now, unfortunately, we don't have a healthy menu of ships to choose from at the moment, but that will certainly change in time. Every enemy strike craft we destroy presents an opportunity to salvage blueprints for new ships. Plus, it'll give Carl something to do instead of pissing me off to no end.
Oh, for Gamma's sake. Why did we drop out of warp? Carl, what is wrong with my ship?
Nothing is wrong with the ship, Elsa. I've scheduled a combat drill for today. We're getting a little too soft for my liking.
Jameson, it's 3 in the morning.
All of the ship's command and control systems are routed through a wireless-assisted simulation. A benefit of such a system is you do not have to be physically on a ship to fly it. You can astral project your command focus to another ship, while delegating the control of the mothership to artificial intelligence. While it would make almost too much sense to allow the artificial intelligence to fly every ship, that theoretically would take all the fun out of it.
Position holding. Disengaging. Priority asset designated. Target locked. Obliterating. Relay point designated. Position holding.
All right, that's not bad. Not great, but not bad. Let's try something a bit bigger.
Engaging.
We have sufficiently asserted ourselves over this inanimate material. Surely we must be done with these mindless examinations of competence by now.
Carl, you couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. These drills just might save your life someday. You'd be wise to put this inanimate material to use before trying your luck on something that can shoot back. Now that we have strike craft of our own, we should learn how to fight against them. It's a big galaxy, and we're not original thinkers here. We should be able to locate a border raid to have our way with. They should be no match for the combined force of our mothership and strike craft.
Signal detected. Game saved. Pillaging successful. Awareness expanded. Extracted. Scanning area. Added to cargo hold. Cargo acquired.
It is absolute murder to me when we have unused analytical data like this. Unless you wish to fall asleep one night and never wake up, you'll make haste and allocate this data at once.